Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tackling something that's a surprisingly big hurdle for a lot of English learners. Just talking about the simple, everyday objects all around you. Yeah, I'm talking about the stuff in your desk drawer, in your kitchen, in your toolbox. Getting these right, it's a huge step towards sounding way more natural.
So let me ask you something. Just look at your desk right now, or the table in front of you. Can you name everything you see? And maybe more importantly, can you say what you do with those things using verbs that sound, well, normal? I bet it's a little trickier than it seems.
And see, that's really the heart of it, isn't it? You could be amazing at talking about big ideas, politics or science. But when you can't think of the word for that little twisty thing you use to open a wine bottle, it can totally trip you up and make you feel less fluent. Trust me, mastering these small things makes a massive difference. Okay, so let's dive right in. First things first, we've got to make sure we're actually getting the names right for all these common household items.
Here is a classic mix-up, a screwdriver and a corkscrew. I mean, the words sound kind of similar, right? And they both have that screw sound in them, but their jobs couldn't be more different. One is for fixing things around the house, and the other, well, that's for enjoying a nice bottle of wine.
Now, here's a super important little grammar rule for you. See these objects? Scissors, pliers, sunglasses. They're always, and I mean always, plural in English. Because they have two connected parts. So you'd never say, the scissor is sharp. Nope. It's always, the scissors are sharp. Or you'd ask, where are my sunglasses? Okay, let's do a quick fire round of a few more useful items. We've got a padlock. That's the kind of lock you'd use on a gym locker, right? Not the one built into your door. Then you have a lighter, some darts, rubber bands, and of course, a light bulb. All stuff you probably see pretty much every day. Okay, this next part, this is absolutely crucial. See, knowing the noun is only half the battle. If you really want to sound fluent, you have to use the right verb that goes with it. This is where so many learners make these little mistakes that just sound unnatural to a native speaker. For example, take a lighter. We don't really say start or turn on a lighter. The word that perfectly captures that quick little snapping motion you make with your thumb is flick. You flick a lighter. Simple as that. And here's exactly how you'd hear it in a real conversation. Seeing it in a sentence like this really helps it stick in your brain, right? Go ahead, try saying it out loud. He flicked his lighter. Okay, here's a really tricky one. When you turn that little knob on an old-school mechanical watch, the verb is to wind it up, but you have to pay really close attention to the pronunciation. This wind rhymes with find. It's not like the wind that blows outside. This is a super common mistake, so listen carefully. Wind. And here is the perfect sentence to practice with. Just say it a few times to get that sound right. Don't forget to wind up your watch. Yeah, it's a little old-fashioned now with smartwatches, but the expression is still really common. Here's another perfect example of one of these verb-noun partnerships. You wouldn't say, oh, I need to make my pencils point sharp. I mean, people would understand you, but it sounds so clunky and long. The correct, efficient, and natural verb is just sharpen. I need to sharpen my pencil. So let's look at a few more of these essential pairs that you should just learn together as one solid chunk. You replace a light bulb when it burns out. You use a screwdriver to tighten or loosen a screw. And, just like you see in the spy movies, a thief might try to pick a lock. All right, next up, let's talk about what things are made of. Being able to describe the material an object is made from is so incredibly useful, whether you're trying to find something in a store or just describing it to a friend. So this table gives you a really fantastic, clear overview. You can see all the common materials, like metal, glass, plastic, and some examples of where you'll find them. And notice, some things, like a screwdriver, can be made of a couple of different materials, like a metal shaft with a plastic handle. Now, for most of these materials, the noun and the adjective are exactly the same. You'd say a plastic lighter or a rubber band. But there is one really important exception you've got to remember: wood. The material, the noun, is wood, but the adjective is wooden. So you have a wooden spoon, not a wood spoon. Got it? All right, let's quickly tackle a little grammar point that can cause a lot of problems. It's all about how to count these objects correctly using articles like a and n. Luckily, the rules are pretty simple. You use a or an for a single thing. And remember, it's about the sound, not the letter, so an old camera.
For those always plural items we talked about, you can count them using a pair of, like, I need a new pair of scissors. And if you just have an unspecified number of something, just use some, like, I need some rubber bands. Easy.
Okay, wow, we have covered a lot. Vocab, verbs, grammar. So the big question is, how do you make all of this actually stick? Well, I've got a simple, practical action plan that you can start using literally the second this is over. Just follow these 3 super easy steps. 1. Label things. Seriously, get some sticky notes and put them on objects in your house. It works. 2. Always learn in chunks. Don't just learn the word flick. Learn the whole phrase, flick a lighter. And 3, make it a daily habit. Every day, just pick one thing near you and describe it out loud.
So let's finish up by doing that right now. Look around you. What's one object you can see? Try to describe it using what we just learned. For example, I'm looking at a plastic pen with a metal clip. See, it's that simple. But doing this every single day builds that habit of thinking about the world in English. So, what will you describe?